What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another live stream here on Rangers Central, and I am very surprised because this came out of nowhere. I'm not too surprised because of the fact that we did kind of anticipate a Kakko trade was coming, but he got traded officially. It's over. Kaapo Kakko is not a New York Ranger. They've traded him to the Seattle Kraken for Will Borgen, a 2025 third round pick, and a 2025 sixth round pick. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions before I jump into everything. Please be sure to leave a like on your way into the live stream. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. Now, this is where I have two sides of this. I have mixed feelings of this trade. I have two sides of the coin here. There's a side where, looking at the context, looking at where things have gone to this point with Kakko, seeing how much this got ugly with him, and there are even reports that he wanted out. So, considering it got to that point, I like what they got. And I'm not happy about Will Borgen, by the way. I think that that's literally nothing. You add more garbage to the defense, whatever. That's not what I'm happy about. What I'm happy about is recouping some draft capital that they have lost over the past few years, getting a third, getting a sixth. And I know on the surface, on paper, everyone's going to say those picks don't mean much, but getting a third and a sixth, I am fine with. You got to get some draft capital back in here. Where I have my issue with this trade, and where Drury does not get any sort of round of applause or any sort of pass for me, is why was he not moved at the deadline last year? I still cannot rationalize it, cannot come up with 1 point, cannot justify it still one bit, and especially even more now. I cannot justify the fact that they did not move him at the deadline last year when they could have got Jake Gensel, but they didn't want to move Kakko. When they could have got Vitrano and Henrique, but they didn't want to move Kakko. It makes no sense, and that's the part where I'm pissed off. But given the situation, given where this got, this is a fine return. And if Kakko goes on to thrive in Seattle, good for him. Good for him. I am of the mind, and I am to the belief where I do not think that this is the worst thing, because you let Brett Berard now take over the reins, and I'm of the belief that Kaapo Kakko, it was never going to work here. It just wasn't. He has wanted out, it felt like quietly wanted out for years now. Like every now and then there's trickled reports of he wants out, and then maybe he doesn't, but the Rangers believe in him, but they also don't back up that they believe in him because they don't give him as much ice time as you would think, and they don't play him in the top six as much, and even when they do, he doesn't thrive, and then, you know, he starts getting mad again. So we just go round and round in circles here. And personally, as a fan too, I've got so tired of having the conversation, having to debate whether this guy is good or not, whether he should be moved or not. The fact of the matter is, Drury fumbled badly by not moving Kaapo Kakko when he had more value. That's really just, it's that simple. He got scratched in game 6 last year against Florida, got scratched in game 6 against Tampa. They could have got way better. They could have got a way better player at last year's deadline to help them in the playoffs versus trying to believe in Kakko for this long. But they didn't do it. They paid the price, and Drury has to salvage what he can here now. And after the quote from the other day, you knew that he was going to get traded within this week. Like, I didn't know when it was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen tonight, which caught me off guard entirely because we didn't hear literally anything about it. But I knew that it was coming sometime soon. And yeah, this is what it is. And again, I'm not excited really in terms of what the Rangers are getting in this. I'm not excited about Will Borgen, like really at all. You look at the analytics, not good one bit. And it's just, again, you need bodies in here. That's literally the only justification I could have for Will Borgen coming in this trade, as I'm trying to get some stats and analytics up for Will Borgen, because I wanted to go live as quickly as possible instead of just, waiting around. I could have got, obviously, all of the stats up in advance, but I wanted to, just do that. But there are things to like about Will Borgen, but there are things that you don't like. Like, that's really what it is. He is a guy that is going to be somewhat... he'll help a little bit in terms of the point shots, because this team loves to fire shots from the point, and that's something that he's good at. I'm looking at his all three zones card right now, and it's a lot better than I would have thought it was, considering Evolving Hockey really has him rated poorly with a lot of these things. But the problem really is, again, that he's just not that great in terms of playing in his own end. And it is what it is. Maybe he'll be better here. Who the hell knows? I doubt it, considering how garbage things are with this team's defense. I highly doubt that he's going to be some sort of fix and be some sort of help in that department. But at the end of the day, this team needs bodies on defense. And this is just what it is. He put up 25 points last year, if that means anything to anyone. Put up 20 the year prior. Again, if any of that means anything to anyone. Didn't even get a single power play goal. I don't even know if he got a power play point, actually. Yeah, no, not a power play point either of those years. So chips in a bit offensively, but again, that's not the thing that I'm excited about. The thing that I not necessarily am excited about, but I am at least somewhat happy about, is that they're getting some draft capital back. Because if you look at their draft status right now, they have pretty much nothing for second round picks until like 2030. They have no third round pick this year. They got a fourth round pick in the Trouba trade. They got a fifth round pick from Minnesota, which I'm trying to figure out what trade, the Ryan Reeves trade. Oh my God. Yeah, fifth round pick there. So it's nice to at least add a little bit more ammo, and then you could always trade up into the second round, which could be important because you get your Will Coolies in the second round. You get some of your other quality assets in the second round. So there is that side of the coin to it. But again, is this the return you ideally want for Kakko? No. Considering the fact that they let this spiral out of control and they should have moved him way sooner. That's really the issue that I have here, is that they decided to do this too late. This should have been done last year at the deadline, and this is why I screamed for it, because if you're not going to give him the time of day, and he's going to be on the third line and a passenger type player, and you're never going to let him get the opportunity to be a top guy on the team, why is he still here? That's a replaceable player. You could get way better than that. You could have got Jake Gensel or Frank Vetrano, who would be easily in the top 6 for this team right now. And whether or not they extend Gensel, who the hell knows? But all I know, if they extend it, or if they have Vetrano, he would have been here for the extra year. So if you got Frank Vetrano, he sure as hell would be on the first line right now, playing next to Kreider and Zibanejad, and you would have saved more draft capital by not acquiring Riley Smith. So, again, hindsight's 2020, sure, but this should have been done last year. I think that's where I'm at. Both standpoints are fair. Both are true. That with where the situation got, they did the best they could. But Chris Drury doesn't deserve any sort of praise for salvaging something out of an asset that's viewed as not viewed highly, considering the fact that, again, he has had so many opportunities to do this, and he just continued to wait and wait and wait. And that's where my issue is, more than the trade itself. Is that this could have been done a while ago, and they could have got way better assets in return. Could have got a piece to help them win last year. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on that. I'll get to the chat and see what you guys are saying right now. So leave a like if you have not already. Subscribe. Turn on your notifications. all that other stuff. And time to wake up. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. We trade Kakko for a bag of pucks. Cool story. Pretty much. But you get draft capital, which, again, might not be exciting to a lot of people. To me, I'm happy about that. I'm happy about getting draft capital. But Drury does not, again, Drury doesn't deserve credit because he got himself in this mess to begin with. And he's going to be even more in the line of fire if Kakko goes on to thrive in Seattle. And again, I agree that it's not going to work out here. I truly believe that it's not going to work out here in New York with him, but he's going to have to deal with more criticism if he goes on and thrives in Seattle. In Seattle, he's going to get more minutes. He's going to get way more minutes. I'm going to look at their daily face-off lineup card to see where maybe he'll fit in into their lineup. I mean, Brandon Tanev, if they want to move him back to the bottom six, there's a spot maybe for Kakko to be on that first line. And Tanev goes down to like the fourth line. They move out a guy like Winterton. There's room there in the top six for him. Or maybe he goes on the third line to play with Tolvanen and Wright. If he thrives, good for him. But I just don't think it's going to work here. And I never thought it was for a while. And that's why I said for so long, move him. And yeah, this was more about moving an unhappy player. And I know that my opinion's probably not going to be the popular one with most people, but that's just how I feel. It's really how I feel. I genuinely believe that this is fine for the situation they got themselves in. Bad in terms of the fact that it never should have got here. Really shouldn't have. That's where I'm pissed. And yeah, the organization is embarrassing. But I'm there's a lot of people in the chat right now, so I'm sorry that I am not reading most of the earlier comments, but give your thoughts on the trade. Everyone right now, give your thoughts so I could start reading a little bit more of opinions on the trade. Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Again, Kaapo Kakko traded to the Seattle Kraken for Will Borgen, a 2025 third round pick, a 2026 or a 2025 sixth round pick. Sorry. You guys let me know what you think. Ridiculous. Good riddance. What's the scouting report on Borgen? He's a big defenseman. Throws a good amount of hits. Maybe could chip in a little bit of offense, but there's really not a lot there. Like, put up 20 plus points the past 2 seasons, but there's really nothing that exciting about Borgen at all. There really isn't. This team, though, at the end of the day, needs bodies on defense in here, so this is where I kind of am. I'm neutral on it, to be honest, and I think the jury's still out on this one, because if Kakko goes on to thrive, this trade's horrendous. But if Kakko is what he is right now in Seattle, to me, I think this is fair value. And yeah, he had no leverage, but again, I can't give Drury any sort of round of applause for this one, considering the fact that he fucked us up by not moving him earlier. He should have been moved way earlier. That's really the issue here. Kakko will flourish, they all do, and again, good for him if he does. The jury's out on that for me. And I mean, that's true. Nobody deserves praises in this organization. I agree with that for sure. And you get nothing back when you're desperate. Yeah. When there's leaks every day that you want to move the guy and you're trying to get whatever, yeah, you're not going to get shit back. Johnny Lazarus had to remind me about the Vetrano Henrique thing as he just tweeted about that. Matt Rempe got called up too just now. uh, yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Matt Rempe called up as the corresponding move. What are you going to do? This organization's already like down in the dumps to begin with. I just don't understand the direction right now. I really just don't. That's the only thing that I could say about this trade I'm very confused about. What's the direction? I don't get it at all. Yeah, Mancini sent down. I saw that. That I'm fine with. Mancini's not NHL ready. And I'd rather see Ruedel play than ruin the development right now, Mancini. Mancini, keep him far away from this toxic environment and locker room. Let him play in Hartford right now. I'm more than okay with that. I think he needs a year in Hartford anyway. Like the guy doesn't have really a full year of pro hockey under his belt. Let him get some development down in Hartford. I have no issue with that. My issue is more with Rempe being called up. What are we doing there? Literally, why? Yes, you read the title right. Kakko is gone. Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. Mancini's not ready. Round and round we go. Yeah, no direction, no time to vomit. I just don't. Again, I don't understand right now the direction at all. Because if you're. Are you trying to get older or younger? I don't know. Full rebuild coming? I mean, I have no clue. I have no clue. Again, it really depends on if more trades happen or not. I don't know if more will or not. Do I like the Will Borgen pickup? Truthfully, not really. I don't like Will Borgen that much. I think that the picks, I think getting picks back is the most exciting part of the trade because his team needs draft capital. This is the thing that annoys me though. Like, I need, as fans, we're owed, I feel like, and I just want a blueprint. I just want a blueprint, and I want to know what the goal is here. I want a clear direction. But there's nothing. Like, they move Trouba, you think they're going to rebuild. Then they extend Igor, you think they're going to, now you think they're going all the way back in. Now they trade Kakko, and it's like, okay, are they retooling, rebuilding? Like, what's the plan here? What is exactly the plan? Truthfully, I don't think this front office has a plan. And that's the scary part. And sure, I guess this is fair. That if we're going to suck anyway, sure. Might as well just have Rempe here. But I'm not worried about points with him because, again, defenseman points, who the hell cares? I care more about what he's going to provide in the defensive zone. And judging from what he's done this year, not good. If you get more of what last year, what Will Borgen was doing last year, you have at least a little bit of a decent defenseman. If you get 2022-23, you have a really good defenseman because that was probably his best season. He was playing well in his own end, chipped in a little bit offensively. That would be the best Will Borgen you could get. Are they going to get that? Probably not, because his defense as a whole is terrible. And I agree, you want defensemen that contribute points, but if he was good in his own end, then you really wouldn't give a shit as much. But the problem is he's not that great in his own end. That's the problem. Could I see more trades happening? Truthfully, I don't know. Should more trades happen? Absolutely. Do I think? I don't know. Because, again, I have no idea where this team is going right now. What just happened? They moved Kakko. When a guy asks out, the return's never going to be what we want it to be. I'm sorry. And again, I agree with you guys that it's annoying. It's frustrating because he might flourish elsewhere. They should have got more. They should have got more last year at the deadline for him. I'm not disagreeing with any of you guys on that. But when a guy demands out, I can't sit here and get too upset that this is the return. Y'all are cooked, bro. I mean, we were cooked beyond well before this trade, to be honest with you. This trade really does not move me in any direction of we're more cooked or we're back. Like, I don't care right now, honestly. Truthfully, I'm at a point where I really don't care. This is because of this. This is it. This is the most depressing time to be a fan of the Rangers. You win one game and you drop 5 straight. It's like, what the hell is there to care about right now? There's no clear direction. It's just more depressing than anything. Honestly, that's really it. It's just more depressing because everyone in the chat, myself, we put so much time and energy into this team, into this brand, and this is the product we get in return. And it's just more depressing than anything. Like, fucking love this team, but this is where we are right now. I mean, I grew up loving this team. Right now, I just cannot stand them, but you get the point. Like, it just is annoying. And yeah, this too. We said it at the draft. They should have moved Kakko. We said it literally the entire stream of the draft. Like, where is a Kakko trade? And I agree with this. How are fans supposed to support a team? The players... Yeah, I agree. And I agree with you. Again, if he breaks out, good for him, but if he breaks out in Seattle again, good for him. It was never going to happen here. Oh, I'm sure Borgen has been a target for the Rangers for quite a while now. It makes sense given they love their defensemen that are tall and throw the body. That's not a surprise to me. No, Borgen's really not that great. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying if he does. Because I don't know if he will or not. If he does, again, good for him. But I'm not saying he's going to. And this is really more the case. If he breaks out, again, in the event he does, In the event he does break out in Seattle, again, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying in the event it does, it speaks volumes to how piss poor this organization is even further. It's that simple. And yeah, could have. Could have. I don't know if I agree with this because Lafreniere already got paid. It's not like he's now playing for a new contract. It really would depend more if he likes being in New York or not at that point. So I don't know if I agree with that part. And as you should be. Every Devils fan should be watching this and dancing on the Rangers' grave. Ranger fans were doing that for years with the Devils. It's our turn to wear it. Believe me, if it was the other way around, I'd be laughing and pointing the finger at the Devils. You should be happy about the fact that it's going to shit with this team right now. No, I don't think Igor gets moved. Would it be the right move if you're, like, actually going to pick a direction and rebuild? Yeah. Yep. But yeah, they would have got, they could have got Jake Gensler, they could have got Vetrano and Henrique by putting Kakko in one of those deals, but they refused to do that. Yeah, this is the point. Laugh already got paid. He joined the country club. Oh, they're playing the Blackhawks tomorrow. Is he even going to play tomorrow? Because it might... I wonder if he's even going to play tomorrow. That's at least cool. I didn't even know that, though. That they play tomorrow. So, I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow. He might end up taking another day before playing, especially because it's a 5:30 game, all 4:30 there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he does, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Because they already are somewhat close to Chicago right now. Oh, at this year's deadline? No. No, Kakko wanted out. That's why the return is what it is. Kakko doesn't want to be here. They weren't going to get a great return. Do I see them shopping anyone else? Yes, but I don't know who. Because one day it's Chris Kreider, another day it's Keandre Miller, another day it's Ryan Lindgren, another day it's somebody else. I think, but I also am not certain because this team just has no direction. One day they want to trade the young guys, another day they want to trade the veterans. So I have no clue. They wake up, flip a coin in the front office, and decide, you know what? These are the rumors we're going to put out today. Hoping the Hawks would have went after him. I wonder what the trade comparable would have been for you then. I thought the Blackhawks or Sabres were going to be like one of the two teams that were going to get him. I don't know why. I just had a gut feeling. Probably Alec Martinez. I would have vomited. All over the place. Alec Martinez and some draft picks. Would have been gross. And then Buffalo, if you want like a comparable there. Like Jacob Bryson, Dennis Gilbert, and some picks. I don't know. But the question is, how are they planning to weaponize all of that? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's really what I want to know. Because I just have no clue as a fan right now if they're stocking these assets to go in a younger direction or to use these assets to get help in the offseason to help them win for next year again? I have no clue. How could they trade Panarin? Asking him if he would waive, and if he says yes, they could trade him. If he says no, they can't trade him. And this too. Every GM knows. But the problem is you paid the goalie 11.5 for 8 years, so can you rebuild? Because you're never going to be bad enough to get a top pick with Igor here. So can you rebuild? I don't know. Yeah, no. The Rangers will not be a playoff team. No way. No way they will. And no, yeah, it was terrible. It was stupid. Beyond moronic, especially when Dylan Garand is putting up the numbers he is in Hartford, but whatever. What do I know? Yeah, 11.5 for 8 years, yes. And I know he could still be moved, but are they going to move him? I have to believe it to see it personally. Because to me, I cannot envision them moving Igor. If I see it, then sure. And this is also a very good point. Carson, what he said last night. It doesn't matter if he was right or not with what he said. You can't publicly throw your teammates under the bus. It's a PR nightmare, and he paid the price for it. And this team paid the price for it because they lost out on getting potentially better assets that they probably could have got in a trade with him being pissed off. Yeah, idiot is an understatement. Chris Drury, I wouldn't trust him at a grocery store. He has no clue what the fuck he's doing. None at all. Do I think we see Othman anytime soon? It really depends when he gets healthy, because if he's healthy right now, then, I mean, if he was healthy right now, he probably would have been called up. I think when he's healthy, he gets called up. Unless he is healthy right now. I'm not sure. If anyone watches Wolfpack games, let me know. I don't think he is, considering he still has 3 games played in Hartford, but maybe they give him a few games in Hartford and then call him up just to let him get a little bit his legs under him, but I have no clue. I would like to see him called up over Matt Rempe, I could tell you that. It's not even a question. And honestly, I think the best direction at this rate is, once Othman's healthy, you move Riley Smith and get whatever you could get for him. That's what I would do. And then you start to put in some of these younger pieces. You put in Berard, let him get a little bit more of an extensive role. Then you could put Brendan Othman into a solid role as well. And you start to open up some space for those guys. That's what I would do at this rate, but that's just me. And yeah, he traded a second for Riley Smith. Stupid. And he shouldn't be an NHL player. No, not at all. Molly tweeted that he just started skating again. Then, yeah, I would say let him get a bit of time in Hartford, because honestly, at this point, why not? Like, it will probably just let him play in Hartford until like January, and then see what you could get for Riley Smith when more teams are like in a position where they know if they're going to buy or sell, and let a team pick up the phone, get Riley Smith, give up, I don't know, maybe you get another third for him. Maybe you somehow salvage your second that you lost. I'll take whatever, and you open up some roster spots for the younger guys at this point. And I know they called him up. Shouldn't have. But they did. Um, who would you call up from Hartford to replace Smith? Sakura, maybe. I think Sakura should spend the whole year in Hartford. Personally, I would give him a little bit more time. He's still only 20 years old at the end of the day. I mean, maybe if it gets so out of hand by the end of the season, you just give him a couple games just to see. But honestly, I would say you trade Riley Smith and then you run with your top 9 being some sort of combo. And I'm not saying these are the lines. I'm just listing the names. You have Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider, Trocheck, Hedl. I know I just made people vomit with some of those names. Laugh, Berard, Othman, and then Cooley, of course. Some sort of combo there of that being your top 9. And then the fourth line, you just plug and play. Like, I'd imagine at this rate, Jimmy Vesey's going to get traded for a low-end draft pick by the deadline because let him try to win somewhere else, get what you can for a walking UFA. And that's what I would do at this rate. But that's just me. What the hell do I know? I'm just an idiot fan. Just a dumb fan. And they do have to see what they have in Othman, considering they didn't want to move him at the deadline last year. New Jersey was mocked for picking the undersized Hughes over Kakko. I wish they, I wish they would have took Kakko too over Hughes. Think we all do. And I still, no offense if anyone in the chat here was in the Garden for the draft watch party, but that video annoys the ever-living shit out of me to this day. The fans that were cheering when the Devils picked Jack Hughes because this team was getting Kakko. No offense again if anyone in the chat was there, but that video pisses me off to this day. It really does. It really, really does. Because it makes all of us look so fucking stupid. I like Berard. Berard is like one of the few guys that isn't pissing me off right now. It's really him, Coley, and Hedl. That's really about it. And yeah, sure, maybe they would have messed up Hughes. But he's also just such a good talent that maybe it's hard to mess that up. I don't know. Legit no clue. All right, guys. I am going to wrap the stream up here. I apologize for not going live for too long here, but yeah, we'll talk about this more as the as time goes on here. We'll talk maybe more tomorrow about the move, of course, but yeah, Kaapo Kakko no longer a New York Ranger. Even though I never was the biggest Kakko fan, I wish him the best in Seattle. At the end of the day, I got no issue towards the person, just the way he was perceived among this fan base, for the most part, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. So good luck to Kakko. Hopefully the Rangers benefit from this trade, but we will see. Thank you guys for watching, though. I'll see you guys in the next one.